Hey, it's the Chief with Bonding with Board Games. And in this vlog, I'm going to cover customer service. But I want to walk through a few things before I get there. And I want to try to be reasonable with my customer service as well. But you guys let me know in the comments what you think. Because I'm kind of curious, you know, sometimes when you're having a problem with a company, it might be my perceived problem, or it might be a bigger problem than I thought. And a lot of people are having a problem, or even reminiscent of a genre as a whole. So I'll get into the point. First of all, Funforge Tokaido. I already own Tokaido, but I did go on Kickstarter and back the collector's edition. So let's talk Kickstarter first, because we've got multiple things here. I am a firm believer that when I back something on Kickstarter, as much as I hope the company comes through, there is an inherent risk when you give them money first. You are not sure exactly what you're getting, and even some of the built-in protections there with like credit cards and things, when you're pledging that far in advance, all your guarantees or your safety nets kind of go away. All your buyer protection stuff that I've used on my cards before. So when I pledge for a Kickstarter, I don't pledge if the money is too much or I can't afford it or, you know, whatever. And I pretty much consider that money gone as soon as the pledge closes. And then I hope for a good product. And there is a little bit of altruistic things there. Not only, yeah, I want to get the neat new thing, but I also want to help fund the making of the neat new thing. I have had problems there up front. Hello, got burned big time and up front. And then I've had wonderful, wonderful experiences. I'm still willing to take the risk. And I took the risk with the Tokaido Collector Edition because I already have the game and I'm playing it and I'm having fun. But I loved it, my family loves it, my wife loves it. And I backed it. Okay, so first of all, hey, might lose everything, whatever. Kickstarter. I know there's some haters, lovers, whatever. So now let's move to this. The Kickstarter that Funforge did was awesome. A lot of great stretch goals. I pledged early on for a collector's edition copy, told the wife about it. Yes, we want it, we got it. Then this stretch goal kicked in of all the minis being painted. And I was like, wow. I mean, I've never even seen anybody do that, and they were talking about how they were going to spend extra time on the painted minis and get them done really nice, because sometimes they're not painted that well, and I just soon have unpainted. But the pictures they showed were gorgeous. So right near the end, boom, before the thing closed, I added a second copy. I figured I might be able to sell that one if it came out really well, it looked really nice, and it would offset some of the costs of the one I was buying. Or the wife might use it in her program that she does with K-State, and it looks so nice, it might be a place to use there that I wouldn't want my own personal copy to go to. So there was a couple options, but I pledged on it. Now, what happens after the game funds is you go through a period of time, and I don't remember how long, I want to say 5 to 7 months, and a fund or pledge manager will come out. You'll fill out, hey, this is what I did, this is what I got. And this is where my error comes in on the customer service. Funforge puts out their pledge manager months down the road, and I think I was looking at it on my phone, I got my mail, and I just went through and kind of clicked, you know, whatever the defaults were. Now, it turns out the defaults on the pledge manager had it set for unpainted minis, even though everybody that did, I did the samurai level, which was $100 and something level. Anybody that did the samurai level, all their stretch goals were included, and that include painted minis. For some reason, they had the default as unpainted minis. So you had to like unclick a button in order to get the painted ones. I wasn't paying close enough attention, or it had been so long since the thing funded. I knew I'd gone in at this samurai level, and I just bing, 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 set it up, put in my address, and was done. And whenever I get an email on a Kickstarter pledge manager, I do it immediately, because I forgot to do one once, and I was that guy that was getting the notice after everybody had gotten their stuff. I thought I'd done it, I ignored all the reminders, and I was that guy that got the latest of the latest shipments. So from that point hence, As soon as I get the email, I go in and I immediately fill out the pledge manager. And I'm pretty sure I did it on my phone when I was away from the home, so I wouldn't do it on my Mac. The reason being, I get a shipping notice in November or December saying, hey, your 2 copies of, quote, unpainted minis are being shipped to you now. Here's your tracking number. And I was like, I literally got this email. I was reading it in the morning in bed, and I was like, no, 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 no. I did not want the unpainted. Matter of fact, they've been doing a decent job of once or twice a month putting out updates. Here's all these colors. Here's the things we're having. Here's the color of this one. And I just was like, wow, the painted ones are looking great. I'm not a painter of minis. So I was getting more and more excited, and I don't care how long it takes. Take your time. I got all the time in the world, really. I got plenty of games to play. All of a sudden, I've got a notification that my unpainted minis game collector's edition is being shipped. And I was like, oh, no, no, no. No, no, no. Before I called anybody, I logged in, went and looked at the pledge manager. I'm like, oh my God, what? And it showed that I'd picked unpainted. I'm like, why would I pick unpainted? At no point in time, I've got a version. All I wanted was the painted. I'm like, what happened? So I did a little research, found out the default for the pledge manager was unpainted. And I did not pay close enough attention. So I fire off an email. And this is the part where I want to get your guys' opinion. I fire one off. Matter of fact, I know this is in December because we're getting into like Christmas. Christmas break is upon us. And I send one off to the gal, I can't remember her name, Doris, I think, or Dolores, who's been kind of the person updating the pledge manager. Send off the, hey, got an issue. And then I thought, that's not enough. I need to be very proactive. And I sent one to Funforge in France directly. I think it's France. And I get a response back from them first saying, hey, you didn't fund at the right level. You don't get one. You can't change it now. And I'm like, whoa, no, no, no. I funded 2 at the Samurai level before the thing closed. I admitted I made an error. I somehow clicked unpainted, and they said, you had 8 months to change your pledge, and too late, so sad, so sorry, bye. And then we're into the actual Christmas, New Year's, and all the holidays where everybody was gone. And it left me with a little bit of a bad taste. I fully admit I didn't pay enough attention and I clicked unpainted. Not my intent, but that was my error. However, I do think that's where customer service kicks in. I mean, I don't even think I'm being unreasonable. I did stop my shipment, UPS. It showed up, I rejected it. Please send it back to, I think, GTS or the distributors. I even emailed them. And I thought, well, let's wait. I don't want to, there's no meltdowns here. I don't melt down even if they tell me up yours, whatever. I wouldn't melt down. I wouldn't be happy, but I wouldn't melt down. All right, again, when I go into a Kickstarter, I almost, hey, if I come up with the short end of the stick, I get the short end of the stick. And I thought I'll work through this and see what we can get done. And I got an email back after everybody from Funforge came back, because I'd sent an update saying, oh my, please help me out here. And I get a reply back saying, hey, we are actually working on it. I know you got a denial, and just take your unpainted and be happy about it, but we're looking at it. Then the company came out with kind of a general, hey, here's all the errors and the unpainted ones that showed up. We're going to fix these things. Here's all the questions and some issues that came up. And then they had a bullet point where they got to, hey, I, clicked the wrong thing and I selected unpainted instead of painted, and I want painted. And they, in that little informational, they said, we're not fixing it. You're stuck. I thought, oh my. And then I got an email, because I think they directed you to hey, everybody with a complaint, go here. I went there. I was told, hey, we're not fixing it. I was told, hey, I got an email that said maybe they were. Where are we at? And so now it sits in limbo. So first of all, please in the comments, put in there, what do you think? Yes, I screwed up. Yes, maybe I've been spoiled with some of Stonemaier Games' stuff where you can order the thing, get it, open it up, say I don't like it, and they'll take it back. Full refund. That's amazing. Stonemaier's great. Sorry, that's a plug for over-the-top, phenomenal customer service. My main issue with this one is I cannot figure out why you would have the default be unpainted miniatures when everybody that pledged at a certain level or above, it was defaulted that they would all be painted. All of them are painted. That's the default. If you wanted to get it a little sooner because everything was hung up on the painting of these things, they put out a deal saying, hey, you can get the unpainted ones and they'll come a little sooner. I don't care. I wanted the painted ones. And as far as telling me, hey, you had 8 months to fix your mess up on the pledge manager, once I fill it out, I thought I did it right. I'm not going back and checking it. I didn't know I had it wrong until I got the shipping of unpainted minis. So, am I boo-hooing and who cares and who cares if it's painted or unpainted, or hey, that's fine customer service, or hey, it's my error? Let me know. Did I go on too far? I don't know. There are several other people that had that same unpainted, I don't want unpainted, why was it a default issue? And my only other concern with the company is the painted ones have not shipped yet, so there's still time to fix this. I pledged initially for Samurai level, painted, fix me. I've already rejected the unpainted one. What's the change? I'll even cover the shipping if you feel like, you know, the company got hosed out of the shipping. I'll pay it because I had some culpability here too. All right, comments. I ran on long enough. That's my issue. I didn't know where I sat on this. Maybe I'm totally wrong and they're right. Vice versa. Somewhere in the middle. All right, see you guys. Chief, bonding with board games.